OffBeat Sports Podcast.
It's been a tale of two seasons for the Boston Celtics.
I probably aged about 10 years just from that series.
I'd probably compare myself to just a younger, smarter, more handsome, stronger Michael Jordan.
Let's go Celtics. Go Patriots.
These are guys who, when you give them a bowl of Cheerios in the morning, they finish every last drop of milk.
Absolute clown over here.
I'm ready when you are, baby.
All right, everybody, welcome back to the OffBeat Sports Podcast. Today, I'm joined by my co-host, Aiden, OffBeat member, Casper, and recurring guest, Ian. Welcome to the show.
Good to be back.
All right, today we're going to talk Celtics. As you could probably guess, we got a big series coming up. All right, Miami Celtics classic playoff matchup. All right, so let's just we'll start. We'll each go around and we'll give our prediction on who wins and how many games. I'm assuming it's all gonna be Celtics, but we can give our pick on how many games you can kind of give your reasoning. So Ian, we'll let you go first since you're our guest.
All right, so if I'm being honest, and I want to be this guy, I want to say the Celtics should sweep the Heat, like no doubt about it. But there's going to be a game where somebody on Miami is going to shoot they're going to shoot like 10 of 10 from three or something, and they'll probably steal a game in Miami. So I'm going to say Celtics in 5.
Not bad. Aiden?
Yeah, I also got Celtics in 5. I think I wouldn't be surprised at all if we did sweep them, but I think just over the past few years, you got to have a little bit of respect for Miami with Coach Spo and the way he's always able to get his guys ready to play. I think they could steal a game or two, but the Celtics should certainly win this series. So yeah, I got him at 5.
Casper?
I'm gonna go the other way. I'm gonna say that we're definitely going to at least 6. I could even see a 7 just because Spo knows what he's doing against the Celtics. I don't really care that Jimmy's not playing because, I know playoff Jimmy is a big deal. I've also seen a lot of playoff games where Jimmy Butler was, not very good at all. Am I scared?
Speaking of playoff Jimmy, I have a bone to pick about that. I'll let you finish, and then I have a bone to pick about that whole
You're going to talk about that Bucks series where he averaged 12 points a game? That was horrible.
Oh, no. I think it's gross how everybody ignores the fact that he just takes the regular season off or he's not as good in the regular season, and nobody criticizes him for his regular season performance. Whenever he sucks in the regular season, they just go, "Oh well, he'll be there come playoff time."
Okay, but he is though. That's the crazy.
But if Tatum was doing that, everybody would be like, "Oh, he's not all that good." Yeah, he can perform in the playoffs, but he's taking nights off in the regular season and shit like that. It would be a whole different narrative. Why couldn't he just do that all the time? That's what I don't. That's what's
why he probably has to if they want to get it there. Anyway, my pick is I'm going to say Celtics in 6. I could see a 7 to be honest, purely off of Spo. Their team's built to play anybody, which is why the Miami Heat's fun to watch. If we lost, I would be very surprised, but I would not be surprised if it was a long series. I think this is probably the most competitive one we have until the conference finals if we get there.
Yeah. All right. So for me, as a green teamer, proud green teamer, I say Celtics are going to sweep this series. I think without Jimmy, I don't even know if they have a chance of I don't even think they have a chance of winning a single game. It's just this Heat team. I watched them play both Bulls and Sixers games, and I was not impressed at all. Even with Jimmy, they blew that lead against the Sixers. They're that's the Celtics do that, but that was bad in that kind of atmosphere with Embiid not even engaged in the game. You let Nick Batum completely come back on you, and then in the Bulls game, they even let the Bulls hang around way too long. They're not demanding, and they're not like last year where Strus and Vincent and Martin were all kind of playing way out of their minds. They played Highsmith 31 minutes against the Bulls. Is that really somebody that's going to stop the Celtics? No. So that's where my logic's at. So I think they should sweep the series. I think it's going to be similar to the Nets series a couple of years ago. where people were kind of like worried, like, oh, this is a tough first round matchup, but I'm not worried. I think we should get this one in the bag. But that's just me. But like speaking of matchups, like I was thinking last night, like who's gonna cover Tatum that like without Butler, like I don't even know who. I couldn't even
I
think of.
got Hawkes, and that's pretty much it. Unless
Yeah,
they want to put Bam on him, but then they
They're not
can
gonna put
leave
Highsmith on him?
Porzingis.
like they'll play
They
their
could put
zone.
Highsmith
They'll play
on
their
him.
zone, and they'll probably like have like Highsmith play a little bit, but like Tatum should abuse those matchups.
Well, yeah, I would think the burden of the matchups are going to come from Hawkes and Martin, right? Or Highsmith also mixed in there, like those three primarily.
Dude, if I
Yeah,
have
and
to
then you.
watch Martin cook us again, I'm
Oh
gonna
my
lose
god,
my
It's like
bro! I don't even want to
70%
think
from
about
three
that.
again. It may be over.
It's
Dude, he was better. He
it's
should have won that award, that series. I don't care. He
Yeah.
should
facts.
whatever the
The
Larry
MVP.
Bird award. He should have
Yeah.
got. I don't care what anyone says.
Yeah, he was so tough in the series. Like they don't win
Literally
without
didn't miss ever.
And then he hit like 2 threes the entire finals that he was in. So
Yeah.
that was fun.
him. And he shit himself.
He was mad. He lost all his powers because they didn't give him his award. If they gave him an award, I bet he would have started going crazy.
Probably. The Miami only probably still loses in 6 regardless. So.
Right.
Or 5.
So do we know if Rozier's coming back at all during the series? Like
I don't think he is. No, I think
They
he's
already
out
ruled
for-
him out for tomorrow. He's
yeah, because
not
like
playing
on the
tomorrow.
broadcast they were very like not like for the broadcast for their playing games, they weren't talking much about his injury. They're just like, oh, he's out. Like and when I looked it up, it was considered week to week. Like so like even without him, like they don't even have that. Like so in their
their
scoring,
offense is
their
not
scoring's
good.
been low. Yeah, like
Their offense is not good. They rely on their defense heavily. And
Yeah.
like, yeah, that's good when you're playing teams like the Sixers who have a injured Joel Embiid, and you have the Bulls who are not as good as you at all. But when you're playing a team like the Celtics, who, yes, they've fallen into Miami's trap before, but it felt like this season they didn't even look phased against Miami's zone.
yeah,
And mostly
3-0.
because of Porzingis. So
Yeah, 3-0 is that's huge. And like I think we dominate these matchups, especially like when we're doubted like this. Like yeah, last year it was tough, but like that Miami team was on a hot streak like no other. Like in the fact that we even fought back in that series was huge. So that's why I'm like we're out for blood, right? And like we have so much to prove. We have a way better team this year, as much as it hurts to like say that like without Smart and like we're way better. What?
What's the Celtics announced? It's not Scal.
Mike
Forget his
Gorman?
name.
Mike Gordon.
No, the new guy.
Oh, Drew Carter.
Dude, Drew's
Drew.
awesome. When he kept calling Smart your boyfriend, that was so fun.
Well, yeah, we did an
That was
episode with Drew
hilarious.
Carter, and he was giving me shit about Marcus Smart. Actually,
So
everyone
fun.
go watch that video. It's very good.
Ooh, breaking
he's like-
news. We have a big injury for tomorrow.
Oh
Luke
no,
Cornett is out.
no, no,
Bro, it's
Hate
so
to see
over.
it.
Wait, is
It's
he
so
actually?
over.
I actually love
What
Cornette.
injury does he have?
I don't even know. It says right calf strain.
When the hell
Yeah,
did he get injured? Is my question.
I don't know. Practice? I don't know.
Practice garbage time. In what was it? Joe Mazzulla's mini training camp they had. Like he
I
got
guess so. But yeah, so
Damn.
if you want to change your series predictions, now is the time
No,
with this new information.
Eaton 4.
I think
Save your
I think
Tillman
the
minutes coming up.
I think the series is just gonna look like the last game we played against Miami this year, like the
Yeah.
third game of the season. Like I'm pretty sure Jimmy didn't play because he like had some like
Yeah,
personal reason
I
why he
believe
wasn't there.
Yeah.
Tyler Hero played pretty good, and like we let up a huge lead, and they came back, and we kind of sealed it at the end. But like honestly, that's just kind of what I see. Like I could see us choking some leads, but
They're not gonna roll over and die. I know that.
no, of course not. I just I don't think that if we give up a big lead, I don't think they have enough to get over like the lead. Like I think they could get up to like a couple points, tie it. Like I don't see them running away with it after a big comeback. You know what I mean?
I agree. I don't like. Yeah,
don't
they're
have
not
a
gonna roll
closer
over and
either.
die.
Exactly.
We just got to keep our focus. That's the big thing. In it should be smooth sailing, which is the famous last words. But like, I mean, this is not the Heat team from a year ago. It really
No.
is. And I hate that narrative, like that, like, oh well, they beat them last year as an 18. Like, it's a completely different Heat team. Like,
And
and
it's a completely different Celtics team.
yeah,
Exactly.
that's even better point. That like that's even more exaggerated point. Like, the Celtics are significantly better than they were last year. It's just it's crazy to me that people don't see that as much. But you know what? I have faith in my boys. I don't need people's approval.
I really hope we don't lose because that would suck. I would not be happy.
Well, if we lose, so let me propose this. So if we lose, is Missoula gone?
Depending
No.
on how they lose.
Nah, they're not gonna get rid of Missoula.
So I think if
They
they
like
lose first or
much.
second round, he's done. I think if they lose Eastern Conference Finals or Finals, I think he's fine.
Maybe.
That's what
I guess it just depends on how they lose. If like all the entire team goes down with injury and you just happen to lose because
yeah.
all of your players are out, then I don't think it'll be a problem for
I mean,
Joe.
it
But if he
comes
just
down
gets
to it.
if he gets like swept like
Yeah.
Milwaukee last year, or like if it's like the Bucks series last year, there might be a problem. But
Like
I don't know.
I just can't wait.
I don't see it happening.
I just can't wait to Heat fans. Like I can't like the Twitter line for Heat is just brutal. Like those Twitter like warriors for the Heat are brutal. Like they're like preaching about like, oh, we got Boston, like our fans are so much better. And I'm like, you guys had nobody show up to your playing game. Like you were probably at like 70% capacity. The Garden is going to be rocking compared to that. And you want to talk to me about fans. Like, and I can't wait to hear all their bullshit excuses when we beat them. And it's just gonna be so fun. And and they're gonna make the excuses. Well, Jimmy was hurt. Well, what about Tatum last year in Game 7? Like, you guys all said that doesn't matter. Like, so, all right. Well, put your money where your mouth is. Like, we'll see.
What happens.
You see what Porzingis said today? And he was talking about how like how do you prepare for Miami? He's like, you just got to know it's going to be like a fight. Like, and he's like, they're going to try and play their dirty style. And I'm like, I love it. I love it. He's already like
He knows.
throwing shots. That's perfect. Like he's just, I love him. He was such
Ross, you should get a Porzingis jersey. You need an update.
well, I do. I need a Porzingis jersey. So like, I have pretty much everyone except for Porzingis and Holiday. I have a White. I have a Tatum, Brown, Richard, Horford. Yeah. So
Dude, you know what we should get? We should get Dana.
I have a
Barros.
Cornet too. What?
We should get Dana Barros once.
Dana Barros ones, huh?
That would be
That'd be tough. That would be
so
tough.
That would be tough. So thoughts, all right? Who would you rather play next series, Magic or Cavs?
Cavs, honestly.
You'd rather play the Cavs than the Magic?
Yeah, I think the Magic are so inexperienced, but like I don't trust the Cavs at all. I don't like Donovan Mitchell in the playoffs anymore. Garland is like God knows where he is right now. Like he's just like his mind is just not there. I don't care about Mobley. He doesn't scare me. Jared Allen doesn't scare me. Strus does scare me. I'll take that back. Strus scares me a lot from past experience.
That's interesting to hear from you because I feel like you usually like it. I thought you were a big Darius Garland guy. And
No, I am. I'm just saying, like recently, like he does not look good. Like he looks like very out of it. Like I just don't think their guard combo is like a good long-term investment anymore. And I honestly I was kind of hating on Paulo because I just like some games he looks like LeBron, some games he's kind of just like not even bad. He's just like a non-factor. It's weird. Like I don't really understand how to evaluate him, but like that is such a matchup problem for us. Like that big ass dude going down the rim. Like how are you?
I'd rather the Magic. I can tell you that much. What would you rather?
I don't know. Honestly, I watched game 1 of Magic versus Cavs today. I don't think either team honestly has a shot against the Celtics, if I'm being 100% honest. I guess I would want to face maybe the Cavs just because I think they can exploit Darius Garland because I'm not very high on Darius Garland. I never really was. But I'm not really high on him. I am very high on Evan Mobley, but I don't really trust his offense, even though he did okay today. And like there was a long stretch in this Cavs game where they missed like 19, 20 straight threes. And like I could see that happening way more often than not if they're playing the Celtics. So I guess I'd rather face the Cavs. Plus, if you're the Magic, they have nothing to lose. So they're going to go as crazy as they want to. Jalen Suggs is going to do something crazy. We already know Mo Wagner is going to do something crazy. So
He's a nut
I
job.
don't know. I guess I'd rather face the Cavs.
Aiden, what about you?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of agree with Ian that Celtics should pretty easily handle either one of those teams if they play them in the second round. But yeah, I mean, I would rather play against the Magic mainly just because they're less experienced. Cleveland kind of had that. I mean, they went out to the Knicks last year, but they could be a tough out just purely the talent that they have on the team, like Spida. They added some shooters, Niang and Strus, who maybe didn't play well today, but for any game they could get hot, and that could be a problem. And I just think watching the Orlando Cleveland game today, it's pretty clear that Orlando's offense is going to create quite a few problems for them in being able to score enough. And I think the Celtics really just keying in on Paolo to really shut that Magic offense down. I think that would be a better matchup. But again, I think the Celtics could handle Cleveland almost just as easily. But yeah, I think if I had a choice, I would pick Orlando.
Yeah, I'm with you on the Orlando thing. I just don't think they have the experience, and I don't think they're as good of a team. See, like, I don't necessarily am scared of Donovan Mitchell or Darius Garland in the playoffs. I'm more scared of them against us because, like, I feel like every time we play them, they tend to like just go off. So like that,
Sure.
it's less of like a worry, um, like playoff wise, and more of like a worry like just matchup wise, where they like playing the Celtics. But like even the Magic, like we struggled with the Magic a couple times this year. But like I'm not worried about them playoffs wise. So like that's kind of where I have my trade off. So that's interesting that you two selected the Cavs. I wouldn't have guessed that.
Who's the Magic's coach? Anyone know?
Um,
Question. I have no idea.
Jamal Mosley.
Yeah, that guy.
Who the hell is that?
He's done a pretty good job.
Yeah, I mean,
Sounds like that's a bot
for what
name.
it is.
That's like a
For
end of
now,
what is
my
it?
fear for the Magic.
I mean, the
now-
Cavs head coach isn't that better. It's JB Bickerstaff. Like,
Yeah, I was gonna say I know he's not that great.
Well, like, at least like the Magic, like I feel like my fear for them now that I feel like they're gonna sit in the middle of the pack for a long time. Like I don't think they're ever gonna be like much better than the way they are now because they're not gonna be drafting high anymore. Like the Thunder were like perfect because they drafted like 8 times in the top 10 in like a 4-year span. So now they have all those players versus like the Magic missed on so many picks when they were in the top 10 that like I don't know if that's a sustainable success where they're going to be sitting between 4 and 8 for a while now, just because they have like Paolo and Wagner and young guys like Suggs and stuff like that. So like that's where I'm like I don't see a future for them. But this isn't a Magic podcast, so get back with the Celtics. So Celtics, let's each go around and give our biggest fear you could have for this playoffs going in, like whether it be a certain player, a certain coaching scheme, just even anything. Like your biggest worry. Actually, we'll go your biggest pro and your biggest con. So your biggest like worry about the team and the least thing you're worried about. So Ian, as a guest, you can start with that.
all right. Well, I think this is a con that I think everyone's going to share. Just a big injury. That's my biggest fear is somebody gets hurt and it causes a problem. And I guess the biggest pro is the fact that the Miami Heat are, they're pretty much half a team right now. And I think the Celtics just outclass them with talent. And I feel like they've been dominating all season. And I don't really think it's going to change that much.
Casper, all you.
I think my biggest worry is probably just like Tatum's drive this whole postseason. I mean, like, I don't know why people are trying to give him MVP buzz for this year because like that was kind of crazy. Like, I don't really care.
I think it was a stretch where he was making a case, but I agree.
I think he made a case to be in a conversation. I don't think he should have been at the top at all. But like, I don't know. Like when I looked at Tatum especially like last year, like yeah, it's a horrible game. So like you could tell when he was just putting his head down, and just playing. Like his shot selection is so key to our team. Like when he starts jacking up threes, I know I sound like an old head, but like he does, and it's like so painful to watch. Like
That's actually a good point. Talking basketball with you is always like talking to like a 98-year-old man. It's just
I just know my stuff. But like one of my friends like used to always like mess with me and call Tatum the ball stopper. And he really like he can be. That's like my biggest fear is like I want Tatum to keep moving. I don't want him to stop. Like he's got to be active. He's got to be all over the place. It's like if he just goes to the rim, dude, it's such a mismatch. I don't know why he's on the perimeter a little too much. He needs to get in more.
which I think he's been better about this year. And that's
I
just
agree. I agree.
I just hope he doesn't revert back to it in the playoffs, which is I think where you were
That's
going.
exactly what I'm saying. Is I'm scared that he's gonna like fall back on that, try to do too much hero stuff when you don't really need it anymore. Like we have plenty of guys that can help you out if you're having a bad game.
True. Yeah. Aiden? Oh wait, Cassie, did you get your positive?
Drew Holiday's pretty nice. I like having Drew Holiday. Makes me feel better about
that's a pretty good plus. I mean, I'll give you that.
Dude, Drew Holiday is in this like tier of NBA player that I don't really know how to describe. It's like I have this tier of like three NBA guys that I can think of. It's like I don't care who they're guarding. I don't care what the circumstances are. You always will trust them in any situation. I have like Manu Ginobili and like Drew Holiday. That's it. Like just like you can never go wrong with having them there. And I love Drew. He's awesome.
Or when you want to say like, yeah, he's a top 10 point guard in the league, but you couldn't there's no like way to make like a real argument for it. It's just kind of like something you feel.
If you know basketball, like you just watch it.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, got it.
All right, Aiden, all you.
Yeah, so I think pretty much every Celtic fan's number one concern is going to be just health and for everybody, but most notably for Chris Stapps being kind of the key of the team is we haven't really seen how long he can last throughout the playoffs just because he hasn't been on a team that's had to go very far. So keeping him healthy and in good shape is going to be key. But since Ian kind of already touched upon that, I'm going to go to the second thing that worries me a little bit, which is the Celtics late game offense. They had one of the best net ratings of all time, blowing teams out, but I know in the playoffs we're not going to be able to just go up by a ton and run away from teams. We're going to have to be able to run our stuff, get the right shots at the end of the game. And some of these games over the last few weeks, you could chalk it up to just the team not caring, which it very well could be, but some of that late offense worries me if we're in a tight game against an experienced team. Say we make it to the finals, we're playing Denver. They know how to execute in the late game. We're gonna have to be at our best to beat a team of that caliber, or even in the East, like who knows, Milwaukee figures it out, or Philly or New York is waiting there. We're gonna have to execute to take down those teams. They're not gonna beat themselves. So it's gonna be really, can the Celtics get the shots that they want and not play hero ball or force bad shots? That's probably my number one concern outside of injuries. But the main pro I'm going to go with is simply the Celtics' path right now. I don't think the playoffs really could have worked out much better.
That was going to be mine, and I thought it was going to be super original. And fuck you.
You said that like 10 minutes ago, Cross.
What?
Not original. You said it 10 minutes ago.
What do you mean?
You were like,
I was going to talk about
so easy.
Well, I was going to talk about like compared to the West, but like.
Okay. Well, no, I don't even mean like compared to the West. I mean just like kind of how everything folded out. You know, when I was looking at the standings, like what are the chances that like Jimmy Butler gets injured in the play-in and they end up losing that? Like, what are the odds of that? You know, like Miami with Jimmy is a whole different team just because of what he's been able to do. But like now we're getting an injured first round opponent. We get by that. We have probably the two easiest teams left. One of the two of Cleveland or the Magic.
You got Philly, New York, Milwaukee,
and Indiana, who are all going to battle it out. We're only going to see one of those teams if we get to the conference final. So like everything's kind of lining up just where we want it. So the Celtics got to take advantage of this path. They may never have another chance like this to get back where you don't have to play both Milwaukee, Philly, New York. possibly one, maybe none of them if Indiana surprises people. Who knows?
Yeah, I guess I'll go. To add to your point about the paths, I also like how the West is going to be such a battle for all those teams. So no matter who comes out of the West, they're gonna have been in some dogfights and they're gonna be beaten up when they get to us, which we could beat. So we should be able to beat somebody when they're healthy. But I think it's gonna help a lot that those guys are going to be beaten up on a little bit. So that's where I was going to go, but I'll pick a new pro. But I'll start with my negative. I hope that we can keep the chemistry going and that ball movement going through the playoffs. So I just don't want to see them fall away from like their schemes. And it's like I know Casper said he doesn't want to see Tatum specifically. Like I don't want the team to fall away from the things that made them so successful all season, which was their composure and their ability to execute plays and work together as a team. Like the fact that they developed their chemistry so quickly together for a team that had a lot of turnover in the last year. I think that was huge. I think that was very impressive, and I think they can't lose that in these coming series because you can't fall away from that like they have in past years, like David said, where Tatum ends up shooting a lot of threes, and even the team starts just chucking. Like I know they shoot a lot of threes, but make sure they're good shots and you're not just chucking. So that's my big thing. I want them to keep the pace, keep the composure, keep the chemistry. Then pro, just talent. I mean, you got five studs, and you have Horford coming off the bench, who is just huge veteran presence and could easily start for us if we needed him to. So I think just your depth and your ability to be better than every team in your 1 through 8, like no matter who before even stepping on the court. And I think that's my biggest plus for them is just overall talent. But yeah, that's all I got. Do you guys have anything else you want to touch upon in this series before we wrap it up?
We finally have big dudes.
All right.
Like I'm not like.
Well, no, we don't have them tomorrow.
No, that's okay. We don't need them tomorrow. We got to keep him. We got to get him rested.
We'll rest them until we play Jokic in the finals.
I don't know.
Yeah.
At least for me, this could be an extremely hot take. I think the Sixers are definitely the second best team in the East. I know I might get looked at
I'd
crazy.
agree with that.
Like I think Milwaukee is so good, but like I don't know. Like I don't
Doc
trust.
Rivers.
I know, yeah, pretty much. Dude,
Yeah.
I'm so
It's the
scared
Doc
of Nick
Rivers
Nurse.
effect.
I'm so scared of Nick Nurse. I think Nick Nurse is like one of the best coaches in the league right now. Like I think it's
His
Spo.
pitching is so annoying, though.
I don't care. That dude knows what
It's
he's
so
doing.
annoying to watch.
He knows what he's doing. That's why it worries me. Like if Embiid is where close to what he was like before he got hurt at the beginning of the year, like I genuinely think the Sixers could beat us. Like if we played the Sixers, I would be scared the whole time. Like I would not be like, "Oh, we got this." I would be scared because I genuinely think their biggest thing was their bench pieces, veteran wise. Like PJ Tucker was kind of like their cornerstone, and that was really it. And then they had Doc Rivers.
Well, if I wanted to play Philly, I would have rather seen them in the first round with Embiid not fully healthy. It scares me that he might get healthy by the time we have to see him, or hopefully he kind of stays where he's at because he looked terrible against the Heat.
Yeah, I guess breaking news, every ESPN analyst has the Celtics beating Miami in the first round.
No.
I know.
Actually, that might be bad.
I know. 2 of them have Celtics in 7 though.
Really?
Everyone else says Israel Gutierrez and Ramona Shelburne.
Don't know either of
Oh,
those.
Shelburne.
Gutierrez is like a Heat reporter, isn't he?
Yeah, he is.
He's biased.
Everybody else either says Celtics in 5, and there's like 2 people that say Celtics in 4. So
You know what I actually think the best series is going to be? I really hope it happens. I hope the Bucks and the Sixers finally get to play each other in the playoffs.
that would be awesome.
We always seem to have to play them.
that.
We always seem to have to play the Bucks, Sixers, and Heat, but they all never seem to have to play each other.
Yeah. And if they do,
Makes no
it's
sense.
like
I can't
Dude,
believe this is the
I want to
fourth
see Embiid
time.
and Giannis play in a series so bad.
Yeah, 4 years, 4 times in
4
5
in
years
5
is
years.
crazy.
I can't believe this is the fourth time the
And the
Celtics are
only-
playing the Heat.
So the only year
Like-
we didn't play them was the one where we lost to the Nets in the first round, right?
Yep.
They got
we
swept
rolled
by
out Tristan
Milwaukee.
Thompson as our starting center in a
Yeah,
playoff series.
Jabari Parker as like a legitimate 6-man.
Yeah. So
Jabari
Romeo Langford was in our starting lineup.
Romeo Langford was
Evan
so
Fournier.
bad. Oh my god. he was
Evan
so
Fournier, rookie
Evan
Peyton
Fournier.
Pritchard.
The
my
3
God.
weeks we had at Evan
Our
Fournier.
team was like actually so.
The like first
So-
2 games of Robert Williams before he died, and then Kemba Walker's like past his prime knees.
The fact that we won one of those games was crazier.
Insane.
All right.
Kemba Walker is like the face of TikTok slideshows now. What happened to Kemba Walker?
What happened
Remember
to Kemba Walker?
Kemba Walker? I'm like, he played like 2 years ago.
He played last year. He was on the
I
Mavericks.
mean, like, he played for the Celtics like 2 years ago.
Yeah, true.
All right.
So,
Well,
like-
that's all I got. Thank you, Ian, for joining us, and Aiden
Of
and
course.
Casper. Thank you. And Casper, always a pleasure to have you on the show.
I'm the hero.
Ian, even better to have you on the show because
Hey, watch him out.
yeah.
I know where you live.
Yeah.
I'll run there
All right. Yeah. Pull up.
like old days.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us. Everyone check us out on Instagram at offbeat_sports and on TikTok at offbeatsports. And we'll see how the Celtics do. We'll see you next time on Offbeat Sports.
Avenge Luke Cornett.
Yes.
Call them all Texans.